Recording now. Are you able to see my screen, Jamie?
Nope, nope.
Okay.
We
Well,
need to wait. I'll exit out from viewing your save. Let's get to that point first. Okay, I have left your share screen. Started new one, I guess.
yes, I have started a new share screen.
Okay, I can see your screen.
You can see my screen. All right, guys.
Hmm.
This is in the lead up to The Last of Us 2. Excuse me, The Last of Us season 2
The
coming
TV
out.
series
The
season
TV
two.
series,
Yeah.
excuse me. Yeah. So it's a very hotly anticipated show. And we as gamers, Jamie, wouldn't you agree? Like we as gamers
Yeah.
were very thrilled when the world got on board with The Last of Us world, our world.
Yes, 100%. We saw a few of our friends get converted
Uh-huh.
into being gamers
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
show.
yeah, absolutely. Uh, it's so thrilling, right? Like, it was one of the first times probably you always hold that fantasy as a gamer that the people around you are transported to your world as a result of a TV show. And Last of Us, what a killer job it did, right?
Yeah, it really did.
That's
And it was great because the same writer for the game was also working on the
yeah,
on
yeah,
the TV series, which allowed for a lot of those like necessary emotional beats to carry over,
yeah,
which
yeah.
makes it a great game to break down.
That's Neil Druckmann, right?
Yeah, Neil Druckmann.
And he's the person responsible for Uncharted as well.
He was on the writing team for 3 and 4. He led
Okay,
4.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. All right. So, guys, like we wanted to take you through the Last of Us playthrough in the lead up to the season 2 of the TV show being released, and I have with me Jamie, who is an expert on all things games, and I wanted her
Questionable.
to no, not questionable at all. She's being modest. That's all. To take us through the game while discussing the narrative differences between the game and the TV show, also the style, and maybe some other lore that I may have forgotten. But Jamie here has an eidetic memory for details, so we're going to bank on that to sort of give her perspective of how they managed to adapt the game story to the TV screen.
Yeah, yeah.
All
And I
right,
guess that's
guys.
the
Yeah,
key word, the adaptation, because
yeah,
it's always like a fun thing to see what they carry over
right.
because they're such completely different mediums and we consume them differently, for the lack of any other word. But let's start
Absolutely.
and we'll get to it.
All right, all right. With that being said, guys, so because this is just a playthrough to discuss these aspects of the game and the TV show, I'm gonna keep the difficulty at very light because this can get stressful if you try and up the difficulty. So I'm gonna take the lightest setting and have a breeze playing through one of the best stories that I think has ever been made for games.
I kind of agree. Yeah, it was, especially in terms of emotional impact.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there are very few games that sit up there, and this is definitely very
I
high up.
I swear, I swear. And guys, we're playing the
Yeah.
PS5 remaster of this game, which makes it look gorgeous for sure. But as Jamie will point out to you, there are a few differences that we are not on board with.
Yeah, like Joel looks weirdly young, and I'm just like, why?
I
You look like
know,
an old teenager. It's just strange. A
I
teenager with wrinkles.
I know he looks like a singer in the band Evanescence or something, right? A goth rock band.
I'm like, what happened to my rugged good looks, Joel? What happened to your
Exactly,
rugged good looks?
exactly. Oh man, emotional
Yeah,
scenes.
actually, no, that's bang on. He looks like some emotional, like some emo band lead up.
Yeah, and his daughter looks like Avril Lavigne when she was young as well. So
I have no issues with her model because at the end of the day, she's still a kid, right? And she
right,
looks like a
right.
kid. She's also the carrier of our story at this point. Like she's the one who creates an emotional connection with Joel, and it's still your
Yeah.
birthday
So
and
right away,
stuff.
guys. Like if for people who remember the TV show, right, Jamie, I'm gonna pause for a second here. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so right away, there's a difference, right, in how it opens.
Yeah, massive difference.
Can you, for those who may have trouble recalling, Jamie, how does the TV show open?
So the TV show starts with a panel, a TV panel, where
Uh-huh.
a scientist is talking about how the next great epidemic of the world is going to be fungal and not bacterial or
Oh,
viral,
yeah, yeah.
because we don't look. And I'll tell you why I clearly remember this, because it's
Right.
Jonathan from The Mummy,
Right,
and
right,
I
right,
love that
right, right.
actor.
Uh-huh.
And but it's necessary lore setup, because it's not something that most people would expect.
Right.
As gamers, we're more okay just jumping into a thing and then learning about it as we go along, because we
Y-
have
Yep.
at minimum 10 to 15 hours to actually explore something, whereas you
Yep.
don't always get that same time in a TV show or whatever. So
Yep.
they
Yep.
do the
Absolutely.
setup of the fungal infection before
Yeah.
going in, and
Yeah.
then even the interaction with Joel and his daughter are completely different to begin with, because you spend an entire day with her, as compared to this, which is just like, haha, it's your birthday.
Yeah, exactly. And that was particularly chilling scene in the TV show. It sets up something, it has a very foreboding tone to it. This is a very light scene that it opens with, right?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play the game and let's go.
Honey, this is. It's
What?
nice, but I think it's stuck. It's not.
What? No. Oh, ha ha.
Where did you get the money for this?
Drugs.
Like
sell hard.
I
This is
remember
actually one of
walking
my
into.
favorite lines.
Yeah, yeah.
Mortgage then.
That's
I
fine.
sell hardcore drugs. And his reaction of, you can start paying the
Both the
bills
mortgage
then.
then,
It's
yeah,
such
yeah.
a such a cute little interaction, which is
Yes.
um, one of those, like, what I think are very key to setting up any kind of relationship in anything is that interaction with each other, and how they banter
Yes.
is so important.
Absolutely.
This soundtrack, man.
Yeah. Already you feel so much
Baby girl.
for them as a duo, about how much warmth
Yep.
there is between the both of them. What a beautiful relationship that they have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Him tucking her in, the goodnight baby girl. It's like those little touches that create that relationship.
And then the Fire Nation attack.
Hello?
Sarah,
Yes, indeed.
I need to get your daddy on the phone.
Uncle Tommy, what time is it?
I need to talk to your dad now. There's something.
Uncle Tommy?
And this is where you start,
Hello?
in the game, you start feeling something's wrong, right? Like,
Yeah.
I need to get your daddy on the phone. I need now, and then the line just cuts. So you have no information.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're just now walking around as this, what, 12-year-old, 13-year-old
Yeah.
Sarah? And you're just like, ugh, I want to go to sleep, but where's my dad?
What
So
I
this, I
want.
think, is
Yeah. No, no. Please go ahead, Jimmy. Yeah. Tell.
so this, I think, is one of those, like, key points, where just key things I want to mention to people who don't realize it. So when you're watching a TV show,
Uh-huh.
you're being shown information,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like basically how you would interact with your friends. You get to
Yeah.
see their lives, and through seeing their lives, talking to them, paying attention to things, you buy into them slowly over time.
Right. Right.
Whereas in a game, you tend to buy into these characters way faster, because you are the architect of the story.
Right.
Even though somebody else has written this, like, we know Neil Druckmann's written this, right? He's going to unfold the story for us irrespective. It still feels like we are writing this story, because we are walking around with this character and doing things.
Right. Right.
So
Absolutely.
you buy into their emotions and you buy into their concerns way faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
do something in 5 minutes in games that might
Yeah.
need like half an hour exposition in a TV show, or a movie or whatever. It can be done faster in a TV show, don't get me wrong. It can be done. It depends on how it's written. But usually,
Yeah. And the one thing that I want to immediately call attention to is, guys, like, for those of you who don't understand why we are so obsessed with our games, I just want you to. This is the opening scene. This is like stage zero, right, for the game. But I just want people's attention to be called to the detail of this room in setting the scene about who this kid is and what her character is. as gamers, we get to experience these stories on a level that people who watch TV shows and movies can never understand. Look at how immersive this environment is, right, Jamie? Like, look at everything in
Yeah.
here. All the small details. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
you get to see their interests. You get to see Uncharted 4, and it really bothered me. I don't know why Naughty Dog is so fond of creating such untidy households. Like, why are there clothes everywhere? You can still set up an interesting
She's a
like
kid,
room
JB.
without it
She's a
being
kid.
messy. Yeah, okay, she's a kid, but Nathan Drake and Elena Fisher were not kids, and their households were best. I was like, yeah.
But Nathan Drake was not known to be the most responsible individual. That was baked into his character.
Fair. I'll give you that. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is another thing they can do really well with games, right? Like
Right.
you learn as much as you explore. So they'll leave like little breadcrumbs around for you to actually go around and look at things.
Right.
So you can learn at the rate you want to learn. You get to find as much information as you want to find. And so games do that really well. They just like sprinkle around as much information as you want. So the more you explore, the more you learn. Whereas this all had to be shown to us because you couldn't miss it within the TV show. It had to be shown. So we had to see the Indonesian scientist being like, oh, there's something wrong with the flower. We had to do all of that.
Right.
Whereas over here, we get to do this fun thing where you get like little clips as you're exploring. News report, oh no, TV's gone, explosion.
Yeah.
Can also be seen out of the window. Right, and now you're getting to see Sarah get scared. You're getting to see Sarah actually, and so because she's getting nervous, you automatically get nervous because you're like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're a 50-year-old playing this. It doesn't matter whether you're 10 years old playing this. You're going to echo her feelings because you're watching her. You're walking around as her. Her body language is getting smaller. She's getting more nervous. She's like now calling out for her dad. Automatically, you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, for sure. And look, I just want people, I don't know if people can hear, but I want you to pay attention to the environment. Each stage, as you walk through, the sounds have been carefully planted to create that atmosphere, right? The cop cars passing through, the dogs barking, the darkness. It's all very, 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 very hyper immersive.
Yeah. And it's something that they do in the TV show too. Basically, as Sarah was going through her day, you were seeing clues of this within the show too. Suddenly, the police going past, people closing shops around them, the shopkeeper being like, go home now, like go home quickly, something's up. And so they still do that, but they have to take a much longer time doing it than they do over here.
You're right. Absolutely.
Where is he?
Yeah, and over here they're also peppering in other stuff. They're peppering in their relationship stuff. They're peppering in to show you what her day looks like otherwise.
Oh, look at those reflections, man. That's
Yeah.
Nice. The remaster is gorgeous.
And of course, like classic horror things, right? Dark, clean soundscape.
Are you okay?
Yeah?
Does anyone come in here?
Come on, Joel.
No, who would come in here?
Don't go near the doors. Just stand back there.
Dad,
Dude, Tribeca did
here.
such a good job with this
What's going
game.
on?
Yeah.
That's the voice of Joel, by the way.
Yeah.
They're sick.
You can feel
Kinda
the
sick.
tension. Oh my god. And there it is.
Jimmy!
Dad?
Come here. Jimmy! Stay
Oh my god.
Jimmy, I'm warning you!
So this is another thing, right? Because horror games are a thing that we are all familiar with, and a lot of people who pick this up have played at least one horror game.
Yeah.
We see and we understand and we feel the automatic fear because we know what to expect from a horror game.
Right.
And that soundscape was there. It was tense, it was everything. When this guy came in, he understood that this was bad. Whereas, again, it was something that they had to set up more in the television show, which is why you saw the neighbors getting worse through the day, through the eyes of Sarah. As she comes, she interacts with them, she goes there after school and stuff. Whereas over here, they could do it really quickly because again, it's a pre-established notion, it's a pre-established expectation from all of us who play games. So games do two things. One, they craft the narrative differently to get us in, but they also use our pre-existing expectations from other games and other things we interact with to do stuff very quickly.
Right. Got it. I mean, like TV shows and movies manage to do to some degree. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's why tropes exist. They just pull from tropes, so that they can create quick expectations for all of us. Which is why like thrillers, horrors, and all of their spaces will work in a very specific way. And there's nothing, and it's a very clean tool to be able to use, right? So a TV show will echo other TV shows or movies, whereas a game will echo other games. So here they immediately get to set up, this is dangerous, we need to run, by echoing other horror games. And doing other cool stuff like this. Like, for instance, move around. Like I said, you can look around, right, while you're in the car.
Yeah.
So you can add to that entire sense of like freaking out and running, because like you get to look at this house burning and be like, what the hell? And also there's a lack of control here.
Yeah.
You're not driving.
Yeah.
You're not doing, all you're doing is looking at this world passing you by.
Yeah.
Alright.
Absolutely. And this perspective as well, like, you know, this camera angle, this POV, it's very nerve-wracking, as in like what you pointed out, you know, you have no control over the situation, but you can also observe the body language of two people you trust getting more and more anxious, and that tension is translating into the entire scene as a result of what's happening around.
And even what we just passed, right? So we should help those people. No, we can't trust them. We don't know what's wrong. But they've got a kid. Well, so do we. It's those simple things that, like, you know, because at the end of the day, yes, we are loyal. Yes, we have friends, but they're also inherently selfish.
Right.
So the game's pulling on these small little things and using it. And this is where it gets really cool, right? Like, we go from 0 to 100. This is why Joel didn't want to trust anybody. Whereas Tommy still tried to have faith in people.
Right.
Yes, I saw it. God damn. Turn here.
And so people ask me if, you know, the Joel in the TV show or the Joel in the game was grittier, and I said definitely the game, because at least
100%.
Yeah, in the TV show they try to humanize him a little bit, because the Joel in the game is brutal.
They're behind me too.
Well, but that's also because the Joel in the game has 15 hours. No, like this is a 15-hour game. And it's longer if you're doing it for completionists. But just the story is, you have 15 hours to do character growth.
Yeah.
So you can redeem the world's worst person in 15 hours. But you don't have as much of a time to do it within the TV show. Also, people are just going to be less forgiving to shitty characters in something like a TV show, where you're not living through them. You automatically make excuses for your game characters because you're living as them, right? Which is why we all love Kratos. But let's be honest, Kratos was an absolute shit bag in the first two games.
Absolutely.
Right? But we still loved him because he was our like cathartic character to play when we were angry. Like, he was the worst of us, and so it was cathartic, and so you made excuses for his behavior. And of course then they completely redeemed him. But that's the fun bit of it. So they could go way worse with Joel. And that's the other thing. This is something I'm very curious to see what they're going to do in season 2, because at the end of the day, Last of Us is about the worst of humanity. It's not what the fungal infection is purely the cordyceps is purely a device, a plot device to show how shitty humans are.
I'm scared.
And also how beautiful humans can be.
Right.
And so it then becomes a thing of like the way you show that and the way you do it within the games and within games versus your TV shows are completely different, you know?
Right. It's like, look at the sense of chaos. Like, look at how things unfold scene by scene, and you know, like, you know, dragging you down into the chaos with each visual. So you can.
It's also really smart game design, because it's like creating a very linear path for you to follow.
Yeah.
Go!
Alright.
chaos while also creating a fixed path. Like, don't go there. Okay, now go here. You're being herded.
And this as well, these things, and when you have to perform an action for that zombie to get off of you, it pulls you in again so much, like into the, you're not passive
Get through the fence!
to this experience. Yeah, in this experience.
Yeah.
Out of here!
But this is also where it feels so much more difficult, or where it feels so much more crazy, is that you don't actually have as much control again, right?
Yeah.
You're carrying Sarah. Your goal right now is to get her to safety.
Yeah.
You can't fight back. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
And like, you even create this connection with Tommy, because Tommy's like, no, go save Sarah. Like, run. I got this. I have both my hands free. You know.
We're almost there.
Yeah. Oh man, and we're getting to it, guys. We're getting to it. The most uncomfortable part of this game, I suppose. Oh my god. Okay. See, I played this game.
Run!
Joel, run, man. You're a contractor.
Get your daughter into safety. Oh, dude.
It's okay, baby. We're safe. We're safe.
Hey, we need help. Stop!
Please. No, it's my daughter. I think her leg is broken.
Stop right there!
Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians on the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tom?
I hate this
Your
part.
safety in the back rail, okay?
Sir, there's a little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't. Oh no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know.
Oh,
This actress did such a great job too.
yeah.
You'll be okay, baby. Stay with me.
Yeah, she did.
I'll
She
pick
did.
you up. I know, baby. I know it hurts. Come on, baby. Please. I know, baby. I know. Sarah.
Fudge.
Baby.
Hey.
Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby.
So the first time I played this game,
Yeah.
when this happened,
Yeah.
I put the controller down and I walked away.
Yeah.
I didn't come back to this game until the next day.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those crazy moments where I couldn't believe that this character I had just been playing died.
Yeah.
And I understood it was necessary for the setup. I also knew, right? Like, I knew that Joel was the character we were going to be playing.
Right.
But because we spent the majority of this last 10 minutes as Sarah, it hit so hard.
Yeah.
So hard.
Panic spread worldwide.
And now, of course, I've played this game like quite a few times, so, you know, but still you feel that moment when she's,
We can finally take the necessary
Wait a
um,
minute. Yeah.
Los
She
Angeles
dies.
is now the latest
Yeah.
city to be
and we were talking about lower setup earlier, right? Like,
Yeah.
required to report.
this is where we start getting our basic ideas for the rest of the game,
Yeah.
which we uncover more details later.
Yeah.
But this is how quickly you can do it within a game because you're living through it,
for both attacks.
Yeah.
Their
right?
public charter calls for
They set up
return of
a relationship between Joel. They set up his anger losing Sarah and his trust in the government because the government killed his daughter. And then we get to see a really quick, like, what is this, like a minute, less than a minute, this credit sequence, where they're talking about the growth of the Fireflies, they're talking about the rest of the government,
Believe in the Fireflies.
and they're talking about, you know, just how much this viral thing has,
Right.
fungal thing has spread.
Right. Right.
It's a quick setup, and it just gives us the necessary context to be able to jump straight into this game
Right.
and learn more.
Did it say 20 years later? Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years
I'm
later.
coming.
Look at him.
This
Look
is
at
the
Joel.
Joel we all
Yeah.
know. Yeah, rugged and irritated and
Yeah.
angry with life.
Yeah.
Your morning.
Want one?
No, I don't want one.
Well, I have some interesting news for you.
Where were you, Tess?
West End District. Hey, we had a drop
Are there
to
any
make.
differences between
We-
the tests of this game and the tests of the
we
show
had a
that you
drop to
remember?
make.
Well, you wanted to be left alone.
No, it's more or less
The same,
the
right?
same.
I'll take
And
one
isn't
guess,
it also
the,
the same actress?
Whole deal went south and the client made off with
Ah,
their
I'm not
pills.
sure.
Is that about right?
I think it's the same actress too.
Deal went off without a hitch. Enough ration cards to last us
Although
a
they
couple of
changed
months.
one model
easy.
also.
Right.
You want to explain this?
She's much
I
softer
was on my
in
way
this
back
model
here,
than.
and I got jumped by these two assholes, all right? And yeah, they got a few good hits in, but... Look, I managed.
Give me that. Are these assholes still with us?
That's funny.
At least find out who they were.
Yeah, look, they were a couple of nobodies. They don't matter. What matters is that Robert fucking sent them.
Our Robert.
He knows that we're after him. He figures he's gonna get us first.
Son of a bitch, he's smart.
No. He's not smart enough. I know where he's hiding.
Like hell you do.
Old warehouse in Area 5. Can't say for how long, though.
Well, I'm ready now. Yeah?
Oh, I can do now.
All right.
So that's where we see, like, that's the moment where we get to see some of those fundamental changes
Yeah.
from who he was at the beginning. And it's really cool if you actually pay attention to it.
They're right.
Like, you see how much, you see that he was like, very, no, no,
3 hours
no,
left until curfew.
we have a kid, we have to protect
Better
our
hurry
kid.
up then.
And
Right.
now we're seeing the grittier version of it, right?
Right.
Obviously somebody who's been shaped by anger
Right.
and who has way less patience.
Yeah.
But we also see that this is a man who still creates strong connections because he
Yeah.
trusts us. But at the same time, it's clear they have a combative relationship. It's clear that he doesn't like deviations from
The
the
plan.
way he wants it.
Yeah.
While also setting up their relationship, that there's something going on there. Maybe at some point they had some sort of romantic thing or whatever. It's just really quick setups so that you can follow along and then
Look at
learn
that.
more.
Yeah.
Ration line has an
And
open.
then they're using this entire thing to set up the government as we're going through,
Yeah. Indeed.
which is again what you were talking about, detail of the world, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you actually take your time and look around, you start seeing the horrifying signs really quickly. Like this,
Yeah.
this little sequence that you can just walk past
Yeah.
without even realizing. And I didn't realize, I didn't see this the first time I played it. Have
Right,
you ever
right.
seen that entire sequence?
No, I haven't.
Look at it. Just turn around and look at it. These are guys who try to get out, military scanning them.
That just means more people are sneaking out.
Oh my god. Sorry,
And
what?
they killed
Did
him.
he just cut her throat?
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay. You know what?
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh my
Quickly
god.
s-
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And
You
then
know
they
what?
shoot the other two because
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. Why not?
And
Why not?
again, it's a little detail that most people just walk past.
Yeah.
But if you take your time, you stop there, you listen to that, because that's one of the things I actually love doing in games. It's just like listening to the NPCs talk to each other, because
Right,
you'd
right.
be
I gotta
surprised
sell new papers.
by
They shouldn't
how
go
much
through staff.
information the designers actually put there.
Play cool.
For those unfamiliar,
intentional.
NPCs means non-playable characters, guys. The environment, the
Yeah.
other characters in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a cheap way to, I mean, anyway you have to make these guys move around and do things to make the world feel real, right?
Right.
So it becomes a really cheap, a really easy, cheap strong word, but very easy way to start putting in world lore without you having to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Start putting in information about relationships, start putting information about the world,
See what I need. There you go.
and you just walk around, you
business
can
here?
hear all of
Day
these
off.
things.
Visiting a friend.
And you learn more about the world as you are listening in. If you
Oh
learn,
my-
it's an
okay.
optional way.
Get out of here, Joel! Close it up! Fireflies!
So this also they set up. If you're paying attention, they set up. They were talking about how the Fireflies were doing more,
Yeah.
and it's a follow-up from the credit sequence, which is how they've built out this world.
Yeah.
Attention.
Look at the siren going off. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been dropped into 20 years later really fast.
Yeah.
Whereas that, so what took 10 minutes in the beginning
Yeah.
Yourself
was
up,
like an
alright?
entire episode in almost an entire episode. I don't quite remember clearly, but an entire episode in the TV show.
Right.
They set up the relationship between Sarah and Joel.
We're gonna have to
They
go around
spend
the
way
outside.
more time setting up the fungal
Outside.
growth.
Yeah.
They
Or
spent
we could
way
just
more
let Robin
time
go.
doing all of that because let's be honest, also all said and done, her dying was a
Tess,
great
you see
episode
that
end.
shit?
Like it was a
was there.
great
How's the east tunnel looking?
punctuation
clear.
point, right?
I just
Yeah.
For that part of the
no
story.
patrols. And where are you off to?
So they
And
were like,
I
"We have
also want
use all
to
of it."
I want to call attention to what I just did a little while ago. Guys, in the game we have to conserve resources. All right. It's we also have to manage what we have at our disposal to fend off the threat, and we have to be strategic about it. That's
You stay
another
out of trouble,
component of
right?
the
Military's
immersive
gonna be
way
on
that you
force, too.
experience this
Yeah,
game.
see you around.
Yeah, so I mean, in the game, we're worrying about a lot of other things, and that is
Right.
why when we uncover the story, it feels so real, and we get into those characters so much.
Better find 'em
It's because we are doing everything we can to keep these characters alive.
Right. Yeah.
We're not just watching their story or uncovering their story. We are
This is
planning
us.
out what we're going to do, when we're
Yeah.
going to do, how we're going to do it.
Shit's
We're
stirring up
looking
out
for
there.
healing
How we looking
supplies.
over
We're
here?
Yeah.
looking for additional
been quiet.
resources. We're exploring
Signs
the
of military
world,
infected.
finding random
like to hear.
information, anything that can help us
Right.
as players
Yeah.
make sure that these characters live. Right?
Joel,
Because
give me a
it's
hand with
through
this.
exploring this world where we will find a random letter that will be like, hey, there are like a lot of zombies out by this point, don't go there. So as a player, then you know, either we avoid that area, or if we have enough ammo, we go to that area for extra resources because there
Yes.
are more
There
dead
be
people there.
light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? We're also leveling up our characters, which means the more characters we kill, the more, not any characters, but the more like enemies we kill, the more
grab our gear.
experience points we get, the stronger we can create, we can make our characters, so on and so forth. So it becomes, like I said, like that's one of the things where in a TV show we're watching it, and through watching it we're buying into it. So the
Our
story
backpacks are still
needs
here
to
from
be
last
different.
time.
Whereas
Yeah.
in a game, we are living it,
Yeah.
which
Exactly.
makes our buy-in faster
Make your shot.
Yeah.
and different.
Yeah.
And also as a result, we spend way more time doing things in a game than we would in a TV show.
Yeah.
So like long combat
Alright.
sequences,
Boost me up.
long areas of exploration that's got nothing to do with, the overall story, but it's just stuff that we have to go through. Like,
Yeah.
so in the game, you'll actually go through sections where you're trying to make your way through different types of infected,
Right. Right.
which you don't need to do in the TV show at all. All you need to go see,
Come on.
all we need to do is see them.
Yeah.
And occasionally you have like some tense nail biting sequences where they're trying to sneak past or whatever and to highlight how dangerous those things
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
get to move on and you get to, as a result, spend more time doing other things in the TV show. Setting up new characters, spending more time with external characters that you wouldn't necessarily get over here. And
Yeah.
therefore seeing more of those characters' sides, because in a game, you're
careful.
almost only ever following
trick
your
question.
narrator,
Correct.
right? In this case, Joel, and Ellie, occasionally when we finally do have Ellie sections of the game.
been out here in a
Whereas in
while.
the TV show, we can cut
like we're
to
on a date.
and do
Well, I
more
am a
build up
romantic type.
and like actual scenes with other characters and their motivations and everything, because it still fills in the world though.
Like, look at how
Again, changes the way we interact.
yeah. Look at
Sorry?
look at how gorgeous this place is. Like just
Yeah, it really is, dude.
just so
the
astoundingly
ladder?
It's
beautiful.
got to be around here somewhere.
Like I know this is
Taken over by nature.
I know this is a dilapidated building, and I know there's destruction, chaos. This is post-apocalyptic, but my God, like there's something just so pretty about what they've done over here. All right, lady, we gotta get over here. Oh, right. I I remember. What?
Find the ladder.
Yeah, I gotta find the ladder.
Find the
All
ladder.
right, Joel.
There it is.
Joel.
Left.
Oh, I
Left.
see the
Go to the left. Go to the left.
Why?
Left. Me in the car.
No, there it is. Hello. Hello. Oh, there. I've forgotten
Got it.
everything.
Great, bring it over.
Alright,
Indeed.
alright.
Yeah. So like, so one of the things that I'm always curious about is how
Ladies first.
they are going to break down
Lady, you must be thinking of someone else.
a story
That's all relative.
to translate it to a different medium.
Right.
Like, how do you... Now, a
This
TV
way.
show is always going to be way more friendly than a movie. And I'm glad they did Last of Us as a TV show rather
Yes,
than a movie because
yes.
it gave them that time to stretch and actually explore the lore of this game, right? It becomes more and more important the more insane the world is. Like Fallout, which was also an excellent freaking TV show because there was a lot more lore to explore there. Whereas a movie doesn't give you as much space or as much time to do
Right.
it. Which is why movie adaptations are so hard to do for books and for games because
Down
there's
through
just
here.
so much to cover within the space.
You think Robert's
now,
still got our guns?
thankfully, because of the way this story was set up, you had very
We get our
clear
merchandise
sections,
back, it should be
Right.
right? You had the
Speaking of
test
merchandise,
section,
when's
you
that
had
next
the
shipment?
bill
We're
section.
meeting Bill next
Because
month.
during the
Pills,
game,
lots of ammo.
these are the things you're hitting.
Hold up.
Right.
Doors.
The moment you meet, first you are exploring with Tess. Even when you meet, even when you're with Ellie, you're exploring with, you're going through your first portion of your adventure with Tess. Then you're going through the next portion with Bill, which is going to be a great conversation for us to have because they completely changed that out
Right.
compared to the game, right? Also in this, if you remember the differences between the story and the, I mean, between the game and the TV show,
eyes and ears open.
the test section also plays differently.
Yeah.
I mean, in the thing, because we get to the Ellie portion really fast.
Right,
We
right,
also
right.
Get to, they also do the DLC portion game, which was left behind, to introduce Ellie.
falling apart.
Right, right at the beginning, and it's not something that it was not a bonus storyline like we got it in the game.
Easy.
Have you played Left Behind?
But what left behind? No, I haven't.
Yeah. So Left Behind was basically that entire portion where Ellie was with her friend, and it sets up Ellie's sexual orientation plus her story before she meets Joel.
Man, so this is the kind of
Which was a
brutal
game
shit that
break.
this game will have you do, right? Like, you know. So this
Yeah.
man was about to turn, and we had a choice of whether to leave him or not. Now, insofar as it affecting the consequences of the story, it doesn't have any weight, but it puts you in morally conflicting situations like that to draw you deeper into the reality of what it means to live in an environment like that. And as a result of like killing
perspective,
that
so,
person,
yeah.
you get some ammo in exchange from that dead person, right? Yeah. Okay.
So this is the portion of the game that's basically the tutorial portion of the game.
Right.
It's an extended thing that actually doesn't have a lot to do with your overall story,
Right.
other than it helps set up the reason for why you make a deal with the Fireflies.
Right.
It also helps set up the Tess relationship a little bit, but not that much. You
Right.
still get more into the Tess relationship later. The
Right.
point of this section of the game is to not actually get ahead with the story, as insofar as it's here's how you move, here's
Right.
what you do, this is how you listen, this is how you fight, which is what you need to then survive the next.
Oh, and
hundred
even this,
hours
yeah,
of this
even this element, right? Like, you know, where you can analyze where enemies are using your listening abilities, like, you know. So this is a very interesting way of. Oh, also, by the way, like, I want to highlight once again, guys, I am playing this on the easiest difficulty right now. Normal and above, you're not going to have such an easy experience with this game. Let me be very clear about that. We are just doing this for quick storytelling and discussion purposes. Otherwise, this game is freaking terrifying and stressful.
Yeah.
And also,
No, there is
even
definitely
the
a better
even the
job on the
choking
impact of
even the choking animation, right? Like, it's not just
Mm-hmm.
like a quick choke and move forward. Every part of that is designed to make you experience the discomfort of actually choking another being to death.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievably immersive. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Hold on. So now we see
So all of
two. Yeah,
these mechanics
yeah,
are made to show you the competencies of the character. And
yeah,
it also is made to show how everybody else reacts around you, right?
yeah. Oh my God.
How everybody behaves. You got it. Melee. Melee. So, so in this case, what we're seeing, which is something that they do not need to do in the TV show. There's an automatic tools you can use within a TV show or a movie to show how badass somebody is, right?
Right, right,
Over here, we have to build it up. We have to show, so the mechanic of listening is to show how keyed into the environment Joel is,
right,
and how he interacts with his environment to survive.
right.
These are things that are not needed within a TV show, but it is needed within the game. And a good designer will tie the mechanics to the story, right? In some
Yeah.
way or the other, so that it feels, it adds to the immersion of who the character is and why they're doing what they're doing or how they're doing it.
Okay. And usually, so guys, like, why I'm not breezing through the level and why I'm taking my time is to emphasize the importance of exploration within games. I think that's something that sometimes a large portion of the gaming audience, including people like me, didn't do because we just wanted to be done with the story. But I think taking your time and exploring the world not only gives you a richer experience, but it also helps you play the game better because it gives you more resources.
And this is where we get to learn about the lore. This is where we get to know more about this world, is through these letters.
They got
Yeah.
infected trying to sneak into the zone.
Right. So in fact, a lot also of our understanding of this fungal infection and everything,
Yeah,
it comes from doing all of this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not necessarily in the cutscenes, because the cutscenes will only cover the most important bits.
Right.
Why we need Ellie, what we're doing with her. And in those instances, they might give you a little bit of detail
Right.
about the infection. But the details, the absolute details of how it works, how it spreads, where it's dangerous, how long it took to spread, and how long it took for this world to fall apart, happens in all of these little notes.
Yeah, yes.
Which,
Absolutely
of course, you
right.
cannot have in a TV show, so that you actually had to set up, and you had to spend more time breaking that down over there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I'm exploring for the sake of exploring. I know this is where I have to go, but my God, I just can't get over how pretty this game is. That's all sometimes.
Yeah, dude, it really
Yeah.
is a gorgeous
Through
thing.
here. Cover the entrance.
So many leaves. So many leaves.
All right. This is the
So,
local
how
crackhead.
did you
Yeah.
get into this game, and what was your experience?
I got into
Like,
this
why did
game
you like
because there's this friend of mine, Jamie.
Plank fell.
She's into gaming and shit. And she's like, hey, play this game because it's pretty awesome. And for the longest time, I dragged my feet on a lot of Jamie's recommendations because I was a Call of Duty mega lord, and that's all I ever wanted to play. But Jamie kept insisting. So I gave it a go, and I don't know what to say. It's just one of those. When you start to experience stories like this, the thing is, like, people like me, like, Call of Duty players, we're so used to the dopamine hits. Honestly, like, the dopamine hits, the quick engagements where you just compete for the sake of competing. So everything's very big bang boom, fast. But a story like this forces you to slow down and be part of the environment and experience the story. And that can be a little difficult for people to do. But if you give it a go and you start playing these stories in this manner, I promise you, you will never go back to anything else because these hit home and make you feel things that a lot of other forms of entertainment simply are unable to do. Okay. I know. Oh, there it is.
So,
Here.
what would you say would be like the biggest difference?
It's a bit
between-
heavy.
I
I
think
mean,
I
yeah,
can
you were
handle
talking
it.
about the quick dopamine hits. You were talking about how this slows down.
Yeah.
But like for this specific game, is there something that you really enjoyed that made you get through it? Because you're not a horror fan.
Right.
You don't enjoy the horror aspects of this game, right? But
Right.
you still finished this game and you even played
Yeah.
to completion.
Right.
So what was it that brought you into the story of Joel and Ellie?
Just, I know I have to say
close.
that I am somebody who takes into account reviews and the hype around a particular game. And I had long known, even before you told me this game, that this was one of the
Make sure
great
there are any
legacies
soldiers
of the Sony,
It's
the
clear.
PlayStation
Come on.
verse and also the Naughty Dog Studios. So I knew that it was a fantastic experience, but I simply am not I'm not into zombie, the genre, in
Fair.
movies or otherwise.
A lot of
But
people
that's the
aren't.
thing. The
Yeah.
reason why I finished this game is because this game is not about zombies. This story is about characters. This story is about their conflict set against, or rather set in the universe of like a zombie invasion or like a fungal infection. But this game is about what humanity is at the end of the day. That's what motivated me to continue the game,
Shut it.
even when I hated jump scares, even when I hated the tension of having to fight off waves of zombies. And yeah, it's the story and the
Pick up that
characters,
ammo.
honestly.
Sure we'll need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the combat as well. The combat is pretty rich in this game.
Robust, yeah.
Yeah, the combat is pretty
It
robust.
really
in this
is.
game.
And
Yeah,
it's very challenging because this is
Yeah.
a game that echoes that surviving thing, right?
yeah.
You don't get a lot of ammo, you don't find a lot of resources, so you
No
have to be
soldiers,
very
none of Robert's men.
conscious about where you're using your bullets and how you're getting through each situation. It forces you to stealth, it forces you
You
to,
know he's expecting.
like you said, slow down and take this game
Well, that'll make it
slowly
more interesting.
and carefully so that you can actually make it through and survive.
Exactly.
Which is a big part of these games. So part of what you feel and how you feel about these characters in these games is
Not right now, Terrence.
how you actually
Not
live
now. You
through
hear me?
these scenarios.
Yeah.
And I think that the TV show actually did a great job
Yeah.
through showing that, right? Through the small interactions, through the people around them, but also through, they use other tools, right? They use lighting, they use soundscapes to build all of that up, to make you feel,
Been a while. Don't visit us anymore.
to feel the same thing. Which is something you get in a much larger way through just, walking through this world. Like,
Like, look at
this
this.
is a great little sequence.
Yeah. Like, so in the face of absolute crisis, an external threat, what you would expect is that humanity would unite against a common threat, right? And that they would suddenly be nice to each other, that they pool their resources together.
Malik,
But
sit back down.
this offers, honestly, a portrayal of what may be the stark reality of what would happen if something like this did happen in our world right now. This is probably like a forecast
headache.
more than anything else.
Yeah. You've got
And
some
it's very
people doing
depressing,
absolutely shitty
unfortunately.
to
It's
each other.
very
Yeah.
depressing. Yeah.
There's all of this entire black market scenario where people are selling different things to each other. There are people desperate to live, right? Like, because everybody's got their ration cards.
Yeah.
Like, that's what these guys are doing. Is they're fighting for rations. They're
Yeah.
not. Like Tess was collecting rations, and they were fighting with Robert for
Looking for
rations.
Robert.
Nothing else.
You come through here?
Yeah.
hour ago.
That's what
He went back to
is
the
most
ward.
valuable. My God, what's wrong with
He's
you
there
guys?
now.
This guy's eyes.
Yeah, I know.
The remaster seems to have screwed
He
up his
looks like
mind
he
little
looks
bit.
like
That
a
was
Kala
bit
Jamun
distracting.
if it was a human being. I'm sorry, guy. Like, I'm not being racist. It's just the character model was horrible.
Yeah, it was really bad. You know that point in Lord of the Rings when we were seeing that the transition from Smeagol to Gollum and his
Yeah.
eyes do that weird thing
Yeah.
for like that hot second just because. But dude, that was like really, really, really old VFX, so you can explain why it was so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened, but that's what his
Yeah.
eyes
You
looked
guys
like
need to
over
turn
there.
around
So
and
that
head
weird
back. You know it's
transition
good for you.
from Smeagol
Our
to
beef
Gollum.
isn't with you. We just want Robert.
Yeah.
Alright, now we
don't
learn
wanna
how
do
to
this.
use guns.
Turn
Yes.
the fuck around and leave now.
I'm not going anywhere without Robert.
Bitch, I will bash your skull unless you turn around and get your dumb ass out of here.
Fuck this.
Take cover!
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kill you!
I'll cover you. Get the angle on them.
All right. All right, the aiming, the naughty dog aiming.
Asshole!
All right, let's see if we can get some ammo.
Nicely done, Texas.
I assume
You
that
too.
the game will
How
provide
the
it
hell
quite
did he get all
liberally.
these guys?
If Robert's good at one thing, it's writing blank checks. Shit, not going through here.
Let's go, Tess. Over the wall.
Give me your hand.
No, Tess wasn't the same actress. It was the actress from. So the only actress who was the same was the Firefly leader.
Ah, right.
That's the only one who played the character in both the game and the TV series. Yeah. In fact, the voice actress for Tess unfortunately has passed away.
Oh no, that's unfortunate.
More Robert's guys.
Shit, I see him.
So yeah, so all
know
of
they're
this stuff.
Two of
Right.
our
We
guys
spend
died
so
trying
much,
to
like
take
now we
Tess
spend
out.
so much more time within this
Guarantee that she
game,
and Joel are on
within
their way
this
here
space,
right now to
rather
get
than
Robert.
the setup
Jesus.
with
Right.
Sarah
take
or
this
anything
job.
else. Whereas,
Right.
you know, we
Spread
spend
out,
so
make
much
sure no
more
one's
time
creeping
there
around.
within the TV show, so that we feel the impact of Sarah's death, and so that
Right.
we feel the absolute impact of the infection itself.
Right.
And that was because of the opposing.
Okay, I did a dumb thing. I meant to.
Requirements.
Yeah, I meant to choke him out, and now I've alerted.
Fuck these guys.
Everybody.
Yeah. Oh well. Guns blazing. Guns
It
blazing.
happens.
Oh. Yo.
It happens. Punch him!
Oh, thank you, Tess. Thank you. Maybe shoot Tess. Hi.
Punch him! You
Alright.
got this.
Alright. Okay.
Right. So those are. Oh, he's
Just
surrendering.
relax. Just go. I'm making the humane
He's
choice, all
surrendering,
right?
bro?
I'm making the humane choice. Run away. All right.
I'm curious. I've never actually done this. Has he gone away?
Oh wait. I have to. Oh, I don't have a health kit. I just
He has
spared
not
you.
gone away.
I just spared you, man. See, this world sucks. I just spared you, bro. My God.
I was
Guys.
wondering if for once this will work differently.
Yeah, I was like, come on, you need therapy. Why would you do that? I just let you go.
Yeah.
See, and then
yeah, so
that's
this
that's what it goes a long way to explaining why Joel is the way that he is.
Here,
Like even
just
if you
have
make a choice like that, unfortunately,
Yeah.
the world is such that you're not gonna get a break. You're not gonna get a free pass. People are naturally going to be suspicious of any good that you try and do for them. It's just the circumstances
Yeah.
are such.
Yep. Yeah, and this entire sequence goes not only to explain his character, but also shows the different requirements.
Yeah.
The differing
South Warehouse.
narrative requirements for a TV
Yeah.
show versus a game.
Do another once
Right.
over and then head out.
So not only is this a tutorial space, but it's also like this key character setup space,
Paranoid to
Yeah.
see you're by himself.
world setup space.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll check in with
That-
the others and come up with something.
Takes a fair bit that is not at all required within the TV show. Because you get to set up the rest of this really quickly.
And also here,
with
like, you know,
the
you can
show.
approach this combat situation in a variety of ways. In a TV,
Mm-hmm.
only one, only one sequence of events can pan out. But in this game, right,
Yeah.
I can choose what I want to do. I can take this guy out first, or I can throw a bottle at him. In fact, if I want to do something random, I can just do this and then grab him and then take him back, so that the body is not discovered, then choke him out over here. Or I could have just thrown a bottle, gone guns blazing, or tried to avoid them altogether. So your personality comes into play in how you experience the story as well.
Yeah. Also, you've actually brought up a great point. Now this is an example of a linear story.
Yeah,
There isn't a lot of choices you can make within
Right,
a
right.
linear story. You're just
Right.
exploring the story as it comes, as you unfold it.
Right.
And you're buying in because you're playing as these characters. Your choices come in smaller ways, like you said. How
Right.
you fight, how you explore this world,
Yeah.
how you get through things. Now, in this
Yeah.
scenario, they're making you take out all of these guys. So it's
Yeah.
more about the choice of how you're dealing with this entire situation, whether
Right.
you're being stealthy or whether you're going guns blazing. But there are games out there that are harder to adapt because you're making active story decisions.
right.
And through your actions end up with completely different stories, completely different endings,
Yeah, yeah.
completely different situations.
Yeah,
And some of them get really insane, right? Like you'll get some stories where it's just some decisions that change some things, and then there are stories where it's cascading effects and cascading consequences to some small decision you made a very long time ago. And how would you then adapt that? How would you find the emotional beats within
Yeah.
a game like that? Which thankfully is not something we had to worry about with this game.
Right.
Because Last of Us is pretty straightforward. Over here, it was more important to capture these characters' motivations and their journey through the world.
yeah. And yeah, like every aspect of this combat also. Right now I'm playing on a very forgiving difficulty, which is why I'm able to do some of the things that I am doing. If I tried to do that in proper game, I would be dead by now. I would most
Also, I have a
definitely
lot
be
more
dead
bullets in this
doing
game.
what I'm doing. But that's also something that I want to bring up to whoever who's watching who might have a little bit of trouble thinking of getting into gaming.
Slow us
You
down.
can choose a lower difficulty just to experience the game, and it's not that difficult once you get used to the mechanics, right? So don't be intimidated by what's going on screen. Pick it up. You can adapt pretty quickly, and the game is forgiving when you adjust the difficulty settings.
So this is actually one of those discussions we keep having, right? Because you keep thinking you think that I'm absolutely mad for playing all my games that are harder difficulty, especially when they are unforgiving games,
Right,
like
right.
God of War.
Right.
Or even Last of Us 2. I played Last of Us 2 at like a higher difficulty right off the bat.
Right.
And my argument is that the reason I do it is because you're learning, if you're playing that from the beginning itself,
Yeah.
you don't know any better. You don't know
Right, right.
how much easier it could be
Right.
because you're just learning it at that difficulty.
Right.
But as you also rightfully point out, life is difficult enough. Why should we play
Yes.
it
Yes,
at
ma'am.
insane difficulty levels?
Yes, ma'am. And for some people who want to get into gaming, they get really thrown off by all these mechanics that you have to adapt to. Honestly, guys, it just takes finishing one game before you're familiar with most of the modern mechanics of gaming. Right? So don't be intimidated. Play the story, experience the story. The reason I'm running about and not really going anywhere is because we have a 30-second countdown to 1 hour finishing. And I want to wrap up this episode You have 25 seconds, JB. Go, quickly wrap up.
Yep. So this is actually a great way to see how the TV show begins and how the game begins, and why they're beginning the way they are, and why we spend so much time with Sarah, and why we spend so much time over here with Tess. And it's a great thing for you to just check out the game to be able to understand and see the differences within the characters, and